Excellent. Okay, so today is technically it's the week 4. Week 4 is email automation and PDF automation, right? So in the past weeks, you have learned all the basics, which is the fundamentals, variable and arguments, control flow, data manipulation and selectors. And most of you have done the assignments and you send it to me. So I checked it, most of them are working fine. So those who did not send the assignments, please make sure, like even if you're watching the video as well, you know my email ID and you can, my contact, everything. So you finish this assignment so far, you follow the video and finish the assignment and send it to me so that you get the feedback that will help you improve in your skills. So this week is essentially the PDF automation, but I'll try, sorry, email automation, but I will try to cover PDF automation as well if time permits us, right? So email automation is some quite advanced topic in the topic so far, whatever we have seen. So if you see in the process automation side, or generally in the technical IT arena, how much we use the email. So predominantly we use the emails, and it gives us the task and we reply to the email. So it's part and parcel of our life, everyday life, even in our personal life as well as the official. So both like we mostly play around with the emails. And automation is also like it is also it also cannot escape from this. So there is also a lot of emails in process email. Like consider think about any kind of business, even it can be a customer service, or it can be a support, IT support, even whatever it is. So everybody, the task comes, they have to process the emails or work based on the email and reply to the email. And a statistics says that it's more than 50% of the process automation is comes in email. So it's essential, we need to automate that. And that is why we are here. So we will see different types of email activities, how we extract from the email and use those contents, and how to send email automatically. And we also get attachments through emails, right? So we get PDF or any Word document, so that we need to take and process. We also get some input data that we need to read from the email and then process into some other systems, and then get the output or get the value and reply to that email. I hope you understand the point. So that is why we need to learn about the email, and UiPath supports this email very well when compared to a lot of other tools. It's really fast and very advanced. It gives us a lot of options to automate. I really love this. So when I talk about this, I think about my past experience in test automation. So where automating the email took a lot of effort from me using some other tool. So it's largely difficult to achieve the result. So somehow it is failing somewhere, and it's not accurate, I would say. And it does not support the volume as well. But UiPath is quite advanced. So we'll see what are the activities available in UiPath in the email sections.
When we extract the email contents, if there are signatures in that, is it possible to avoid those signatures?
Yeah, it's possible. You want to avoid that signature, right?
Yeah. Read the email content, but accept the email, I mean, like signatures, or sometimes, I mean, like most often, if you see here during Christmas time, most of the organizations will have the Christmas wishes or something attached.
Yeah. Yeah, it is possible to select the content, I would say, instead of ignoring. So you can only choose what content you need. So we got techniques to choose only the required value. For example, account number or something, if you're looking for, you can take only that. Okay. So yeah, it will read the entire email, but from that value, what we got, we can choose only what we require. So it's also quite an advanced topic. We will touch base on all those points. So in UiPath, so let me create a new process. Let's say exploring emails. Okay, so UiPath by default, it gives the mail activities. So in case you don't get these activities, you know how to install using managed packages. And just go to the activities and type email. You get all the mail activities here. So you get send exchange mail or delete mails. Let's say mail. Yeah, when you say mail, you get even more options. You can see exchange. You know, IBM Notes is also one of the email. And you get IMAP, you get Outlook, POP3, and SMTP. So most of these are called protocols. Okay, so what I would do is give you some notes. Okay, you know, email is the most traditional form of communication, right, till date. So it has SMTP, and what else it has? IMAP, POP3, SMTP. SMTP already I noted. It's Outlook. So these four are the main important tasks. So you would be using all these again and again in most cases. So all these are protocols: SMTP, IMAP, POP3, and Outlook. So mostly we use Outlook because Outlook will be used to be installed in our machine most of the time. So it will use that instance itself, which means we already installed the Outlook. So using the Outlook activity, you can give only your email address and it works perfectly. But for all the other things, the SMTP, so this SMTP is mainly used for sending messages or sending emails, right? So it's one of the protocol. And this POP, which is called as post office protocol, it is for reading messages. So one for sending message and another for reading message. And IMAP, which is called Internet Message Access Protocols. This is again for reading emails, which is like receiving messages. And finally, our Outlook, which is send and receive. So with these four options, you can automate any kind of emails that you want to automate. So SMTP, IMAP, POP3, and Outlook. All right, so we got four type of protocols. Okay, so now we will see one by one. So first of all, we will see how to send email or how to, first of all, we'll see how to send emails. And then we will know, like we will read that same email. So for sending email, so what is the thing we got? We got SMTP, right? So we'll use the SMTP activity to send an email, right? Okay. So for the project, and we go to the activities and use SMTP. Okay. Right. So this SMTP basically asked, so it gives you all the properties here. And already when I drag and drop itself, we got an error message, right? So we need to resolve all these things. So if you see here, it is asking for attachments and it is asking for a server details and port details and email and password and secure password. So all these things, BC2, CC, and who is sending this. So all this kind of information, most of the things you need to give it. So the server is the mandatory part. So you again, teach using the Outlook, but SMTP, in case if some work environment, if you want to use the SMTP, then definitely you need to know this. So the only email I think you will have access to your personal emails. So we will make use of the personal emails to explore this a little bit further. Okay. So what I will show you is that a Google, I mean a Gmail, and show how it works. So I'll open a Gmail now. Okay, so it gives you, go for my account dot google.com/app password. So for UiPath, to access your email, so you need to create a pass, not only UiPath, any apps that you need to any apps that if they need to communicate with your email, you need to create an app password in Gmail. Okay, so I'll show in Gmail how it can be done. So I give my password here. Right, so actually I have already created a app password for this session. So to create some other thing, you need to select this, the mail. So the app is mail, and you're going to select a device, which is a Windows computer, right? So I'm using a Windows computer, and if you're using some other computer or anything, you can select that device. So I click on generate, and it generated me a password, right? So this is the password that I will be using. But since you know my password, you will be accessing my email. So I don't want that. So I'll be deleting the that one now. So now my email is safe. Nobody is going to access my email. So I have created the app password. I know this app password, right? So this is one thing, and one more is, come on. Ignore my emails, but we'll go to the settings, right? Go to the settings. Come on, settings. See all settings. So you need to go to your settings in your Gmail. So there are two things you need to enable here. So go to the forward and pop IMAP. So when you go here, so you get, so for me, the POP is already enabled. So POP is post office protocol, right? So POP and IMAP, you need to enable both of the things. If it is not enabled, click on enable IMAP and enable POP for all mail, and then click save changes. So one setting is done. So this is the first part, and you can close your Gmail, and you can go to the app.password and generate a password, right? So with that, what we can do is, now you can get the password, right? So first of all, you need to get the username password. For that, you use this activity. So the get credential activity, oh no, sorry. So get credential, get from the orchestrator. There is password. Yeah, get password. So get password, and you can type the password here, right? So if I type, you cannot see my password, right? So this is exactly what I want. So just a moment, I'm just searching for my password. So this password got my password I have given here. So now we can use this send SMTP and configure all the details. So what I'm going to do is like you just create a new, okay, or I can give it here itself. So I'm going to send this to one of the email ID, which is my ID itself. If the email is not correct, it will be going to some other email address. We cannot revert that, so you need to be careful on that. So here in the subject, I'm going to give something like a invoice. I'm going to send an invoice, so I'll be having some document to send. Invoice ID plus I'm going to create a variable like invoice dot toString. So I'm going to send the invoice to my email. Did it create a variable? Yeah. It's already a string, but invoice usually yeah, it's a string. When I create by default, it is a string, so I no need to convert it to toString. So in the body, I'll say, hey, here is your invoice. Right. So when I type here, it automatically creates the variables, the email address here, the subject and the body and the to address. Now it is asking for the server details. So for the server, usually the server detail for Gmail is SMTP. So because we are using SMTP, it is called SMTP .gmail.com. So this is the server details. And you need to give the port number as 465. Okay, so this can be 800 or 900, whatever it is. For Gmail, this is the one. And if you are using in your environment some other port, so you need to contact your IT support to get these details. So you need to ask what is the server, what are the host details, which is the server and the port number. So once you get that, you can just give it here. So now what I will be creating is I create an email variable here. So which says like, so my email is sydney@gmail.com. This is my personal email ID and my password I need to give, I already get it in the password, so which is fine. So in the email, I give the email, and in the password, I give the password, right? So now if I run this, so I will be getting an email, right? So let me debug this one. Okay, so the exploring email, so it just took 6 seconds to send an email. So let me check if I received that email, and I will open it for you. Still waiting. Did I give the spelling correct? To automateanything.com. Trust me, definitely it works, but I still did not get the email. Oh, Shailaja got the problem. Just now I gone through the message. Shailaja want a bit more the screen size. I'm still waiting for that. So yeah, once I get, I can show you that email. Still waiting. So I'm searching for 2 attachments now. So I can send that to in this email. I can attach that. So I'll go to the projects and create one folder and have it as attachments and open the folder and just paste it here. So I have one of these attachments and I have another one attachment as well, which is this. So I got 2 attachments, which I will open and show it to you. So this is how it looks like. Yeah, AGL. So I have masked my first name, last name, address. So just to not reveal my information. And one more invoice. So this is the invoice. So here also we'll play around in the PDF section. So I got 2 PDFs. So this we'll be using as an attachment to attach to this email. All right. So let me check my email now if I got that. It's weird. So I still did not get the email. Not sure what is the problem. Okay, so no problem. So what we will do is now we'll create so we are going to send this all the attachments. So we'll go through each of the file and send the attachments, right? So I'll put a for each. And for each, I'll put as invoice in I'll create a variable like invoices, right? Because each invoice in invoices, and this invoices I'll change to a string of arrays, right? Because it will be 2 file names. Wait, it is coming like that. Yeah, it is string of arrays, right? In the string of array, I need to give the file name. So which is this. So let me check that if that is the same. It's a 728 and 24. Yeah. So in these 2 file names, so we'll loop through and attach the files, right? So we'll create within the body, we'll create what is the file name, and we create what is the file name, right? So we give us file name as a string, right? And so I'm giving this string, which is so this is the attachments, which is the folder plus invoice.string. So this is the file name, the exact file name I have assigned it to the file name. And now I need a full file path, so that now I know the file name. So if I know the path, then only I can attach it to the email, right? So I need to give one more assign and create a full file path. In the full file path, so just open this and just copy this. So this is the full file path, and just paste it here. So I have given the full file path, and along with that, I need to give one more thing. Then only it works, because to attach that, the folder name plus the file name. Right now, the file name will have the entire path, so that it is easy to attach and send. Right now you can move this send to within this one. I think I need to generate the password one more time. I think so far I did not receive the email. Let me restart my Outlook and see if it works. Either it's a problem with the Outlook or it is the problem with the password that I have given. Okay, so what I would do is I'll reset the app password one more time and see if it works. Mail, Windows computer, generate. Oh, sorry guys. So it has, I think, problem with the Outlook. So this is the output I got. Hey, here is your invoice. So I received it as 825, but yeah, for 7 minutes I did not receive in my Outlook. So it's a problem with the Outlook, not UiPath. So with this email, I'm going to attach something now. So you got the subject, you got the body, and now the attachment which I'm working on now. So this will attach that. So what I did is like I reset my password now. So I'm resetting my password once again. Windows Phone, not Windows Phone, Windows Computer. So now I got this, the get password. I'm giving this password and save. Still, it throws me some error. Okay. So it says, okay. Why? Options to type object.
An object. It is double quotes. Within double quotes, it's a string, right?
Yeah, that's right. Thanks for that. So now it has gone because I need to give the toString, and that is why it has thrown the error. Yeah. So let me test this. So now what I have done for each of the invoice, I'm going to send. So this is only the sending part. So just run it. Okay, it took 7 seconds just to send the emails. I'm expecting the email. Yeah, I'm getting one by one, but without any attachments, right? Do you know what the mistake I have done? So I did not attach again. So I just only created the full file path. So you know how to attach the email. So you need to go to the attachment section and give it in the collection. So in the collection, it will ask the direction, type, and the value. And then you need to give the direction and the value. So you can create, it is the in, and the value is the full file path. So I think just that's it. So it will send the attachment. So I'll run once again and see if it works. You can hear a lot of background noise. Sorry, I cannot help much with that. So it could not find the part of the path. Saying it could not find the path. Attachments. Oh, So see, my path is incorrect. The way I have given, I need to remove one of the attachment. Attachments is twice there. So is that the reason? Attachments, yeah, there should be only one attachments. So I deleted one of the attachments and then see how it works. So now we are seeing only how to send emails. Then using the same email, we can read that email again, then we get those attachments and put it in our the same project. So I'm getting this. See, now I got, here is your invoice with the attachment, and now another email also just come, and it's another attachment. So you can see the invoice as well, which is in the subject name. We got the invoice. So the reason I give is like we need to extract that invoice number in our next exercise. So now you know how to send emails, right? So if you are able to send emails, then you must be able to read the email as well, right? So sending email part is done. Now for reading emails, you can either go through this IMAP or the POP3 setting, but anyways, both of the settings is already there in Gmail. So you can able to read this email, or if you can also go to Outlook. So I'll be showing any one of that. So Outlook, I'll leave it to you because of the timings that we got, but this is the difficult one. Outlook will be quite straightforward because it is installed in your local. It will be easy for you to work with the Outlook. So what I will be doing is now we'll go to the IMAP and see how to work with the IMAP. So let me create a new sequence for IMAP. Say IMAP. And you know the activity what to bring in. Yeah. So I here the ping noise, I think it's not required. So I got a quick question. So do we need to have the Outlook launched? No, not required. So the Outlook needs to be installed in your computer. That's it. So you don't need to open Outlook or anything. The robot will take care. So it's all like API and the protocols. It will communicate and it will get everything from the backend. So you don't even realize the Outlook is there. So you don't need to open that. Yeah, so that's the power of RPA. Okay, so you know the activity, what to take. So it is like get IMAP mail message, right, from the email. So you need to drag and drop that first and see what are the field you are missing. And for the IMAP, for Google, the server name, and this is like imap.gmail.com, and the port is 993. So we can't help anything with that because it is the details set by Gmail. So we need to use that. If you're not using the correct number, it will not work. So for sending, it is a different port, and for receiving, it is a different port. So now we give the server details and the port, and we need an email and the password. So we have the email in the main program. So you very well know about the arguments. You can create the arguments. We can get it from the main program, right? So you just create the email as in_email. So for creating the argument, Control M, right? So Control M, and you can create in_email. And for creating the password, Control M, in_password. Right. So with this, that error is gone. Yeah, that so here I'm giving the credentials. So if you see the Outlook, you no need to give the credentials. So it will be by default because it is installed in your own instance or the computer. So you don't need to give the username and password in Get Outlook message, but here you will be giving. So if time permits, we can see that as well. So rest of the things you don't worry about anything else. Just give the username, password. But finally, what you need to do, the output you need to give us, you need to create all the messages or emails or something. So your list of mail messages. So it will have a list of emails. So everything will be saved in these messages, right? So now we'll go through each of the messages and do whatever we want. So we can read the message based on the subject, or we can read based on the content of the email or the body of the email, or even based on attachments as well. So it all depends on how you want it. So what I say, instead of the item, I will say this is mail. I'll create messages. Oh, sorry, it's already created. So I can use the messages here. And in the body, like now I know what email to read, right? Because I showed you the email. So this is what I'm going to read. So I know the invoice. So if I have some invoice, then only I'm going to read. Invoice followed by something. So I'm just following this pattern, because everything follows a pattern, right, in process automation. So it should be static, and yeah, you need to rely on the inputs. So the subject should be in certain format that is coming from a system or some team or people or anywhere. So here the format is invoice followed by a hash and followed by some values, whatever it may be. And it has an attachment. So I am going to read only this email. I'm not worried about anything. So before that, I just mark my email as unread for a reason. So I just made it as unread. And now I put a condition, right, a if condition, and say if the mail dot subject. So when you put the mail and put a dot, you must get that actually, yeah, all the details of the mail. So I'm doing something wrong here. So the reason I'm not getting is the argument type is wrong. So it is as an object. So I need to change this to the mail message. So you click on browse for type and just click mail message. I think so, something, yeah. UI system.net.mail.mail message. So this is the exact one you need to take, and click on OK. Now put on the condition mail dot. So when you press mail dot, it gives you all the options. It gives you the sender and everything, but mostly we'll be using based on the subject, right? So also you can put on the sender. If you're expecting from email from someone, then you need to action on something, you can choose the sender. But here in our scenario, it is the subject. So I put dot, and it gives all the options what you want to do. So I want it if it contains. So I put contains. Then I choose the contains. It should contain the invoice. So it's better to copy from the email itself. I'll type it, but it's better to copy from the email because you don't make any spelling mistake, right? So invoice hash. So this is the one. If it is that, then I do some activities. So which is like some assign. So now I'm telling the activity invoice number. So is there an invoice number? Then I create an invoice number. So see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a folder within the attachments based on the invoice number, and then move the file to that the folder. So that is what I want out of this particular reading program. So the invoice number is like I need to do some split operations. So the subject dot split and do some operations. So just I expand this and yeah, put mail dot subject dot split. So why I am splitting, I want only the invoice number, right? So the splitting is hash. So if I split by hash, it will go to before the invoice, it is one part, and after the invoice, it is another part. So next I put is like 2 character array. So 2 character. Why it is not coming? Hash dot, yeah, character array, right? And I just put it as 1 because it is after the hash. That is what I want. So it is 1. Yeah, I think this is pretty much enough for now. Yeah, so it's just only taking the dot, even the dot PDF as well, if there is something. And yeah, so I am going to create, I need to create a folder. So now to save the attachments, there is an option called save attachments. So you can see the save mail message and save attachments. I give the save attachments and click on mail. And it is asking where you want to save, right? The folder, the save attachments, it is asking where the folder path is. So the folder path is attachments. In the attachments slash create an invoice. We don't create an invoice number already. It's there. Yeah. So it's the invoice number. So it will create one in within the attachment folder. It will create a folder with the invoice number, right? And it will save the attachment there. So that is what I'm expecting. And let's see if it works. Oh, no, it should go inside. Okay, so just to walk through this program again. So it's get IMAP mail message. You know what it is. So given the port number, server name, and email and password. So it's going to communicate with my Gmail and get my all my Gmail messages. Oh no, sorry. So it's my automate anything email. So it should. Yeah, it should communicate with me, automate anything email. Oh no, it's a Gmail, right? Yeah, so I have done something wrong. So I need to forward that email to my automate anything email. Sorry, my brain is not working now. So I'd forward this. I thought of using that same thing, but logically I did not follow the instructions correctly. So let me manually forward that. So, and it will read from there. For the first 30 message, it will read and mark as read. So after reading it in the email, it will mark as read. And if you want, you can delete that messages as well after reading. So if you don't want that, yeah, let me test this if it works. Oh, it will not work because I did not configure these things properly. You know, the
arguments.
Yeah, exactly. Who is that? email and password. Okay. Don't know how did it work. Okay, so what happened is like when I run that, it ran the main program. Oops, sorry. And so from the main, what I should have done is I should have called this IMAP, right? So if I call this IMAP, so I don't want this thing, so I just ignore this activity. And
debug, you selected on debug file, right? So it should run that IMAP one, isn't it?
Sorry, repeat your question.
You were on the IMAP process when you clicked on the debug file, so it should.
No, actually, I run it instead of debug.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I just run it. So it was running from the main, and I got 2 emails in my to automate anything email.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do now, I get the password. So I'm passing the arguments. So you are all very thorough with the arguments. I'm just passing the email and the password, and I'm expecting it to work. Now I can run because I commented the IMAP, the SMTP one. So I'm expecting this to work.
We expand the attachments folder, will we be able to see?
Yeah. So
it
no, sorry. So it is the default one. So it's still the execution is going on. I should have debugged to see where it fails or something. It looks of it like I think it's having some issues. Cannot create because a file or directory with the same name already exists. Oh, okay. So it works actually.
In the save attachments.
Cannot create.
Before the save attachments, shouldn't we create a folder, or it will automatically create?
It will create actually. Yeah. So what I have given is
attachments invoice number, which is right.
Yeah, I'm expecting it to create, but it's saying cannot create because the file or directory the same name already exists. File, oh, because a file or directory. Okay, so I think I should delete this. So it is expecting it in a different folder. So I just delete it. Okay, now I have another problem because the mail is already read, right? So it will not work. So I forward this again to my email. So I sent 2 emails. So now there will be 2 emails, 100 emails in my message box. But if I uncheck this, it will take everything. But okay, I should have done that. Let me run once again and see how it goes. It was taking too long time than expected actually. So at this point, it will get all the emails. So for the top 30 emails, it will look if there is anything with that specific subject. Did I give the subject somewhere?
In the 4H.
Okay. Okay, now it get all the emails and put it into the messages.
But it gets only the 100 messages. Right.
Yes, yes, it gets only the 100. But it is taking quite a long time for getting the IMAP mail message. Not sure why. Maybe because of the antivirus security that I have or something. So, or more the email, it will take more time because 30 emails, it is more time. You can have 5 or 10 emails, so the amount is reduced. Okay, create one folder and then going to the next email, and then now it create another folder and it will put the file there. So if there is no more emails, it exit the program. Still it is checking if there is any invoice because we got 30 mail messages. So it is going through each of the mail message and seeing if there is invoice. So if there is no invoice, if it is invoice, then it go inside the loop. Otherwise it's not going inside. Just create the folder. So it will go for 30 times, but it's in the debug mode. But if it is in the run mode, then it will be even more faster than this.
The first time we ran it, it already read the emails, right? And so this time it should be reading only 100 messages, and it couldn't be 30, right? Or
no, the first 30 emails, it will see if there is any hundreds.
Oh, okay, but it will still go to each and every message.
Yeah, that is correct. It will still read the 30 emails. Okay, so now we'll check. Okay, so inside this is the exact expected result. So you can see there is a .pdf. So if you want to remove the PDF, you know what you need to do. Just you can expand the split options and remove the PDF .pdf. And I put the file inside. So this is exactly expected. So now coming back to that notepad. So everything, the SMTP, IMAP, and POP and IMAP are same. And this Outlook is something different. So you can explore sometime on this one. Just quickly check what it is, and then we'll move on to the next one. Outlook. No, sorry. Why my time is not working today? Send SMTP and Outlook. So in the Outlook, you have send Outlook message and get Outlook message. So if you want to get the Outlook message, put get Outlook message. So similar to the IMAP, you can configure here. But one thing you notice is you no need to give the username and password. You can just give only the account name. So which is check to automateanything.com. That is the Outlook I have. In the mail folder inbox, just read only the 5 emails. So you can do all the same operations. So I don't need to explain much on that. So already you have seen that. So it's the same way it will also work. And that is the get Outlook. On the send Outlook, you need to give the to and subject and the body. And you need to give the email ID. So that's it. So it will send an email successfully if you give everything correctly. So it will send it. So to can achieve a lot of things using these kind of the Outlook messages. Subject is high. Step into. That's it. It's in the email, and that's it. So you can also attach the files. You know how to attach files and configure the values or folders there. I showed you in the direction you need to go in and the value. So it's a folder value that and the file name as well. You can, if you give, you can attach any kind of folders and files and send the Outlook message. So let me check in my Gmail and see if I received the email. Oh, no, it's better to check in my outbox. So in my outbox, I got the test email and it's sent to Sydney Rajanish, right? So it all worked successfully. So now you know what is SMTP, what is IMAP, what is POP3 and Outlook. For sending and receiving message, we use Outlook, and for different protocols, we use SMTP for sending and for reading IMAP and POP3. So with this, one section is completely done. And when you work using all these activities again and again, so the questions will be mainly based on the properties. So question will be what you use for sending messages. So you have the option as SMTP, IMAP, POP3. So you know the answer now. For sending message, SMTP is the answer. So similarly, server, and if the Outlook is installed in local using send emails, do we username or password? So no, right? So these kind of questions will be asked.
Rajnish?
Yes, Sajita, go ahead.
What is the difference between POP3 and this one? I mean, yeah.
Okay, you want to know the difference between POP3 and IMAP, right?
Yes,
So,
IMAP.
yeah, so IMAP is like advanced version of POP3. So POP3 is too old or traditional way of reading messages, and this IMAP got some more improvement. Like Gmail, all this kind of latest email uses the IMAP protocol. It's almost the same, but only the version or difference. IMAP is a little bit better, but in some office settings, you don't get IMAP, but you get only POP3. So in that case, you need to use POP3, but IMAP will not work there. So that is the difference.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. Any more questions? Shohan, Reza, I'm seeing you the first time. Welcome. All right. So what we'll do, we'll take a quick 5 minutes break. Yeah, 5 to 10 minutes break, and you can expect me shortly for the next session. It's PDF. Thanks all.
Okay.
Okay, so now we will go ahead with the next topic, which is PDF. So type PDF in the activities. It doesn't give me anything. The reason being PDF is not installed so far. So as you know, by default, it doesn't come with PDF, right? So that is why. So here I will put PDF as well. I'll just add it here, exploring PDF as well. We have two PDF here. Just drag and drop it to the attachments. Okay. No problem. We'll use the same PDF. And now what I do, I go to the manage packages, just type PDF. UiPath.pdf.activities. Just install that. Why we want to learn about PDF? No, PDF are the main contents for automation. So wherever you go, you can find PDF, whether it can be an invoice or whether it can be any communication as well, or any scanned invoice, or for most of the business, the inputs come through the PDF, right? So either it can be a banking, any BFSI domains. So you can see a lot of emails or a lot of PDFs coming through for attachments, such as our driving license, or the utilities receipts, like electricity bill or water bill or whatever it may be. So they just scan and attach as a proof, right, for your address proof, or any kind of verification, so for getting a loan or something. So the PDF is largely involved in most of the businesses. So that is why PDF is very important. And UiPath by default has a lot of PDF activities, but even there are many things that cannot be achieved using UiPath. So even many other external vendors are also doing this. So it's a vast area, PDF. So whatever we can do in UiPath, we will use using these activities. Anything beyond that, is out of scope for this exam or for this session. So we will explore whatever is within the UiPath scope, right? So when I talk about PDF, right, I think about two more scenarios. So which is structured PDF and unstructured PDF, right? So structured PDF, it is the readable PDF, or it's the actual PDF where you can just copy the text, or the robot can read that text within the PDF. But unstructured PDF is it is like the robot cannot read the text directly, but it is a scanned PDF. It is kind of images. So we use some other advanced concept, which is called OCR. So which is called optical character recognition, and using that, it just try to capture most of the values, but it is not accurate, but still it tries to do most of the words, extract most of the words. So that is how it works. So when I type PDF, you get all these type of activities. You get read PDF text and read PDF with OCR, right? So you got all these things. So in the PDF, when I talk about PDF, so there are basically few important activities that we need to explore out of this topic. It is called, first one is read PDF, and second one is read PDF with OCR. This is one thing. And screen scraping. So screen scraping can be also used for scraping the data from the PDF. You can also use the get text activity to get the values from the PDF. Also, you can use anchor base. So this can be also used. And with these activities, you can read most of the contents with the within the PDF. Either it can be a scanned PDF or the actual PDF. So I don't remember the exact term. Yeah, it's called native PDF. So the native PDF, it is called the structured PDF. So we can read the values within the PDF, and we can act on that. And anything beyond these activities, right? If you're still not able to read that, we cannot read using UiPath. Very sorry for that. So what we can do is, like, you can use some third-party tools to extract that, or you can go for regular expressions to read the values. So yeah, in addition to that, you can also use regular expressions. So which is quite advanced topic. So you can Google it separately for that. What is regular expressions? So it's not a programming language. It's just a kind of a syntax and just some formats just to copy the values. So it can be used in most of the programming languages. And if you have some doubt on this regular expressions, I think I have a video in my channel. And to automate anything, you can search for this topic. I have somewhere I have for regular expression. It's a separate video. So you can refer that video for that. So using this activity, we will try to read the PDF. So what PDF? So I'll go through the PDF. So in our project, we had a PDF, right? So I have a AGL bill and some invoice, some random invoice. So I have this one. So we'll try to capture these names or the account number or supply address, whatever it may be. So there are many electricity and gas companies in anywhere in the world, right? So there will be many places, and they will be using this kind of technology to get this value from a specific customer, and then use that as an input to another system to update Salesforce or ServiceNow, whatever it may be. So the customer comes with the attachment of this invoice. It may be a gas account or electricity account, or it may be any other account. So they attach this email and send it to the customer care, and then ask some clarification on this bill. So instead of a person going it manually and reviewing all these things, a bot can go to use the email activity. In our previous section, we saw how to read emails. A bot can read the email and extract this attachment and put it in a folder, which is more than enough, right? They're going to save a lot of time there. So once they put that, another bot can read that PDF and fetch all the required values and feed it into another system. So it keeps on going. So a lot of bots work together and save a lot of amount of time, all the repeated work time, right? So it will reduce all those things. So that is the thing, very interesting. Okay, so we'll see what is read text. Now, so we'll create a new sequence and say it as PDF exploring PDF. So, and I type on the activity. So read PDF text. And in the PDF, I choose as I need this address. Let me say this AGL. Right, I give this one. The range is all, which is it is all the pages. And if the password of the PDF, some PDF will be password protected, right? So if you want to open those kind of PDF, you need to provide the password here. So the extracted text, you need to create a text output. Say PDF output. and then I write it somewhere in a notepad. Right, what is that? Text, right? Text. Text. Sorry, I put a type into. Basically, I want to show the output, how it's working. And then I take a notepad. Then indicate it on the screen. Put it on the notepad. The text PDF output. Just see how it works. My God. Okay, so I did not enable some activity. So if I enabled that property, which is the simulate type, so it will work in the background. So now it is typing one by one, so it takes a lot of time. So here, these two are very important. So the send window messages and the simulate type. So the simulate type, it is a background automation. So, but it also works in the foreground, but it is called as the simulate type, which executes in the background. And even the send window message also works in the background. So you need to understand the difference between the foreground automation and the background automation. So yeah, these are the properties which defined those outcome. And also like click before typing, so it will click before it actually types. And you can also increase the delay between keys. And empty field, if there is already something written, it will empty everything in the notepad or the particular field. And you can also enable this. So it is still typing. Yeah, which means this is a native PDF. So we don't have any issues in reading the values here. But if it is a scanned PDF, then we actually have a lot of difficulties in getting these values. So it is approximate, it's more of approximate values. So it's not correct sometimes. Yeah, so here we got most of the things. Okay, I hope you understand. So I'll stop. So we'll stop here. And see what is there, right? So you got most of the things. So from here, you can use the regular expressions to extract these values, followed by the due date. So you can take this value. So use this as an input, same as the email. In the example, we saw that how we read the subject name. So similarly, you can use here as well. Using split in the combination of regular expressions and everything, so you can get the value, right? So this is one way we read the values. So the next thing is So next is PDF with OCR. So for that, we need the some PDF with OCR. Okay, so I think I have the next example I have is the PDF with OCR. These attachments, this one. So that example is the OCR email. I believe so. Let me check it. No, actually, it seems to be a native PDF. Just a moment. Let me search for a PDF. Scan PDF. Okay, so this is a better example I have. So even though it's a combination of native and the OCR one, because it has images, and these images we cannot read these values properly. So here, like, I can make use of this one and try to see if any of this can be extracted, right? Okay. So I bring that into the solution. And just choose that booking one, attachments and booking, and write that as the PDF output, and then just drop it here. Control E is control enable. Why is it throwing the error? Okay, cool. So it is saying that no OCR engine is defined, right? So to define the OCR engine, so you need to type OCR, and there are several OCR engines, and you can try all these things and find which one is more accurate. Sometimes the one of them is more accurate than the other, so I cannot really recommend which is the best one, but I mostly use the Microsoft one and the Google one, sometimes Tesseract as well, so not able to tell that. So it all depends on the scenario. So I'll choose the Microsoft OCR. So it now disappears the error. So now let us see how it works. I need a notepad. And just delete this. I did the same mistake again. Okay, this time we will use the simulate type property and see how it works, right? We'll empty the field. what is it searching for? So it says some selector issues. Okay, it had a selector issue because okay, let me try that. Even if it has, so we'll fix the selector issue. The edit selector. So the title is something like star. Okay, now it is able to highlight. So now we'll go once again. So meanwhile, we are also choosing how to debug. So I kept, there is a breakpoint here, and then press on the continue. So it directly comes there. So I no need to go step by step, which is called a step into. I'm not going to step into, just I continue. So if there are 100 activities, it will go to the 100th activity if I'm doing that. See, now it type at once, it is not typing word by word. And it got this information from that page, which is this one, right? So you can do a eyeball comparison. See what it is. So it starts with the Wilson parking. So Wilson parking Australia, so it has read most of the things. And so here also you come here, there is a car park location map. Car park location. Okay, see there is something called booking at the car park, diamond shoes. Diamond shoes. Karen Millen car park location. Before this, so it is able to read only this. Can you read this Sky OATA? So it is coming from this one, the this machine. There is something called SKI DATA, but it has mentioned SKI OATA. So there is some mismatch, but still it is able to read that. Similarly, the diamond has read here as diamond shoes, which is incorrect. So this is how the OCR works. So it captures the image, so it converts the image into some black and white data. So that is how it just converts into the value whatever it says. So it's not 100% accurate. So we cannot depend on this one. Right. Okay. So this is how the OCR works. So do you have any questions until that? Okay. Hope you all are clear. So Siddha has asked to explain the difference between the simulate and the send Windows message. So I told already on that. So both are some both are background essentially. So the only difference is one of them is like it's slow and one is like a bit more fast. So the simulate type is a bit fast. Yeah. So you can just note here and just read it. Yeah, but both are background processes. But I think so one of them use hotkeys and other doesn't use hotkeys. And yeah, so default method is the slowest, and these two are a bit more fastest, but still there are a few difference. So you can just read from here. Yeah, but I prefer the simulate type. It is more accurate and it's more faster, as you saw here. Send window message, it use hotkey and one doesn't use hotkey, and that is the difference. Thanks. So, but yeah, that is an important question actually. Even it comes in the advanced certification. So next is screen scraping. So we have already seen a lot of examples in the screen scraping in the previous sessions. But this screen scraping we can use to extract the text within the PDF as well. Also, the get text also plays this similar role. We'll see how it works. So let's have that PDF open and see if we are still able to get this data right. Stop here, and we saw already this. So I'm disabling this one. So the next activity is get text. I'm really not sure if get text will work on OCR. Yeah, definitely it won't work, but we will grab some other information if it's not working. So it indicates on screen. It's taking the entire PDF. So cannot indicate the browser window, please extension and enable of file for URLs. Okay, actually it's not a PDF because it's within a browser. So we need to have a PDF installed and then we need to open it from there. Let me see if I have PDF installed in my machine. I'm really sorry for that. I don't have PDF, but yeah, you try this as part of your assignment. The get text, screen scraping, and anchor base. So the place where you are interested to grab the text, just indicate there and get the text, and similarly you write it in the notepad. So you can make sure, like, just make an eyeball comparison and see if it works. And the anchor based is something that you can rely on the nearby elements as an anchor, the standard elements, and then you can just search the nearby data. So in that screen, so in the invoice, so in this invoice you can select for the order number. I can send you this PDF, by the way. So what you can do is select this as anchor and get this value. So you can try that. So since I don't have PDF here, so you can try with the PDF from your system and then see how it goes. Anchor base. So this is the activity, and you can have the anchor here. Yeah, so since I don't have the PDF, so you can try this as part of your assignment and see how it works on the Anchor base. Yeah, so I think the PDF, read PDF and read PDF with OCR are the main important topic here. So anything beyond that, so we don't have something within this, but external to this, UiPath itself has document understanding, which is a separate area, and it's a UiPath product. The document understanding has a lot of options there, so you can try those things if this does not work, but that's not part of the syllabus, but just for your information. So somebody will ask, so what can I do if read PDF did not work, or screen scraping did not work, or get text or anchor base did not work? So what is the next option should I do? So next option, you can go for some other packages as well externally. And if that also did not work, you go with the document understanding. So is there, I think there is some question. Okay. Yeah, so do you have any questions till now for the PDF? I think everybody is clear with that. PDF and email activities. So we have covered most of the things in the PDF as well as the email. So what I can give you as part of the assignment is like in email, use all the activities, whatever I have told, and just create a project by sending emails to your some email address and then read the emails. And yeah, so use some conditions in the subject or some in the contents as well, have some conditions. Think about a scenario and create a project yourself by using both PDF and emails. So yeah, so I don't know. So you just think about a scenario and come up with a project by using PDF and email. Yeah, it can be anything. It all depends on your imagination and creativity, whatever it is. So just create a project and come up with a solution using PDF and email activities. So that is the assignment, one assignment for you. And second assignment is for all the topics that we have covered so far. Just go to the foundation course in UiPath Academy and just finish those activities as well. So yeah, that is something. I'm just going through the syllabus. So you can do all these chapters like variable and arguments, control flow, data manipulation. So the Excel and data table, selectors. Selector is one big topic, and email automation and PDF automation. So we are pretty much covered now. So by this time, you are good to take the certification. If you are attended all my previous session and this session, you are good to attend now itself if you understand these concepts. But we have still debugging and orchestrator overview. So debugging we have already used as part of our exercises, but still I can go through this debugging quickly in the next class. Also the orchestrator overview. So I think we have just one more class pending and we will finish there, but you no need to wait for these things because orchestrator is quite simple and debugging is also quite simple. So all the major topics we have already covered. So you are pretty much ready for the certification. So you are now a RPA professional now, UiPath professional. So just some certification needed to certify that, but yeah, otherwise you are already sharing all the assignments and doing very good work, and keep it up. Just go for that, attend the certification, and you get more experience. And if you want some confidence before taking that, so all I suggest is to take the foundation course in academy, and then talk to people who have already certified as a RP associate. So in our group also Sid has cleared recently, and in the community you can find many members who are already cleared this examination. So yeah, you got a lot of opportunities available to clear this. So I think that's it. So do you have anything, any questions or anything you want to share? Or any ask any something, any doubts? Okay. Okay, then thanks for your time. So staying too late, if you're from Australia, if you're staying here, it's really too late. And I'm sorry for that. Next time I try to make it a bit earlier. And thank you for submitting the assignments on time, most of you. And keep sending it. Then only you will get, can improve your skills more fast. The more assignments you do, more workouts you do, you get better in what you're doing. Yeah, so I hope you all clear this certification soon, and once you clear, then share it in the platform. Thank you very much. So see you all next week. Bye.
Thanks, Raj. Bye.